What you desire, you deserve.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Words of Wisdom podcast. This is the place to be if you're a soulful entrepreneur who is ready to manifest an expansive business and life that includes that time, space, energetic, and financial freedom. I'm your host, Minerva Maharaj. I'm a certified spiritual coach, manifesting master, and founder of Goddess of Wisdom Spiritual Life Coaching and Starseed Academy Coach Training. I'm so grateful you are here, and I promise I'll be giving you the stories, the strategies, the tips to create that life your soul came here to experience. Thank you so much again for being here. Let's dive into this week's episode.
Welcome to today's live podcast episode. Thank you for joining me on Instagram and listening on all of the platforms. And I appreciate everyone who's been leaving 5-star reviews and comments on the podcast. That helps us reach more people. So thank you. Today, what we're going to talk about is how to create more miracles in your business and life. I'm going to try to keep this short, but a lot has come up. I was recently in Orlando at a live event with my coach, Taylor Lee. And so much was just affirmed. And by the way, you need to get in the room. When, especially as entrepreneurs and being isolated at home, it's easy. And I love my me time. I love my space. This is where the creativity comes. But getting in the room takes things to a different level. And one thing I will share with you from this event is clarity on my purpose and also my why. And I believe your why should make you cry. And I'm going to share a bit of my why with you here, but it's not even the topic for today. So just stick with me. There's a lot that's going to unfold in this episode, but my why, I'll start with the story. 15, 20 years ago, I don't know, I'm 40 now. I know a lot of people say don't look 40, but 40 is fabulous. I love it. But about 15 years ago, let's say, I was dating somebody, and there was this comment made on Facebook about me that I can't expect to be treated special when I'm just mediocre. And that hit me hard back then. Because guess what? Even though I was striving to be this beautiful, expanded, bright being star, deep down inside, I felt mediocre. So maybe he was picking up on something, but to have it said to you is like a big slap in the face, and it hurt. It really hurt. But that story, which was like 15 years ago, come to now, 2024, at this event, Taylor Lee's event, there was a meditation we were led through with Sarah Prophet. And in the meditation there, and before I even went into the room, I meditated in my robe, in my hotel room. Had a fabulous time by myself, by the way. The message in my meditation was that you're here to turn mediocrity into miracles. In the meditation with Sarah Prophet that she led at Taylor Lee's event, the message was mediocrity to miracles. Now, my magic number is 3. So when things happen in 3s, that's my affirmation to like, you don't need that, but sometimes you need like that kick in the butt and confirmation, like, okay, what are you waiting for? Go for it. And that was it. I am here to lead female entrepreneurs from mediocrity to miracles. Your business, your life is meant for miracles. You are the miracle. You need to start seeing yourself as the miracle. And that's what I'm here for, to help guide you towards that. And you can have the expansion, you can have the overflow in money, you can have the time, space, and freedom in your personal life. You can have an aligned, fun business. You can have it all, and it doesn't need to be through struggle. And so today, that's what I want to lead you through, is how to create more miracles in your business and life. I'm going to give you 3 steps that you can apply to start becoming her, to start becoming the miracle, to start realizing you are the miracle, you are the creator, and you can make shit happen really fast. So I'm so glad you all are here. And if you're listening live or during the replay, leave a comment. Let me know how this is impacting you. I love hearing it. It makes me cry when I read all of them, all of the positive ones. Not that I've received any negative ones so far, but I take it all to heart. So how do you create more miracles in your business and life? Number 1, You need to make a decision between your old self and your new self. You need to make a decision between who you were and who you no longer choose to be, and who you desire to be and who you're becoming. Okay? Too long, what we do is we try to change things from this old self, from the old frequency, from the frequency of lack, from the frequency of struggle, from the frequency of fear and worry, and name that frequency, that old self. And when we're trying so hard to change our business and life, create more abundance, create more flow, create more freedom from the frequency of lack. So I just share this in my manifest group about, and I guide them through how do you make that decision. So I'll share a little bit of now. You have your old self, and picture yourself standing between your old self and your new self. Okay. Your old self has and holds a frequency, and just name that frequency. And your new self, tap into her, that new self-image, that new self, who you desire to be, the girl, the woman, the being who's in the space of everything you've ever desired. And you know what you want. You can say it out loud. You can write it again, but you don't need to keep asking for it, but keep tapping into it if you like to tune into that frequency. So what you desire, you deserve. It desires you as well. It's already created on the energetic field. If you can see it, if you can feel it, if you can sense it, if you said it out loud in a prayer or wrote it out in a journal, it is already being created, right? So now that world has been created. Who is that girl in the middle of it? That woman, that being, that person in the middle of that world? What is her self-image? What is the frequency she holds? Okay. So mine is the relaxed rich bitch, right? And that's what I always tap into. And I am her now, and I'm becoming more and more her, and it evolves and expands in so many ways. But you have this old frequency, you have the new frequency, the old self-image, the new self-image. And now stand in between that space. And you need to make a decision right here, right now. And you get to make a decision of what you will stand for, who you want to be, what you need to start believing, who you need to start being to become her and start experiencing that world and having more of that now. More abundance, more freedom, more time and space, more quality time with your family, more travel time with the overflow of energy, money, time, space, freedom. What decision do you need to make right now? So you need to make a decision between the old self and the new self so that you're not repeating from the old self. And you start moving towards and leaning towards a new self and who you desire to be and who you are required to be to manifest the life and business that you want. Someone says here live, I made the decision. I notice people in my life can tell I'm different and they want me to be my old energetic self. Yeah, such a great affirmation when people start saying you're different. I walked into my networking event today, which I run in Pickering, Ontario every 2 weeks. And they're like, you're different. Like they're like, you're showing up sexy, you're brighter. And I feel like I'm a little luxury and comfort and sexy and sporty. And it's just so nice that people, you can have both worlds, right? People who are going to affirm it for you because they see you, they see your soul, they see your core, and they can feel your new vibrations and changes. And the people who also are like, something's different, right? What that really is saying to me, that is such a sign you're on the right track because you're activating in them something they're not ready to be, that they desire to be, they wish to be, but they don't think it's possible to be. Right? So what a beautiful affirmation, just a reframe if you get the quote unquote negative and positive feedback, but it's just mirroring back to you those changes and who you are becoming, and that's who you want to be. So you in those moments get to decide, do I want to go back to my old self or do I want to move forward in the direction of my new self, my true self, and who I truly am at the core, who I desire to be? Yes, such a good question. I love that. Okay, so number one is making a decision. And I want to say, people used to say to me, like coaches and mentors, like, you need to make a decision. I'm like, what the F does that mean? I did make the decision. But no, this is not a decision from the mind. This is a decision from your core being, from your energetic being, from your core, from your heart, where it shifts, where the light switches on, where you're like, ooh, I'm not going back. Because when you make a true decision, an authentic decision within you, you feel that shift that now you can't turn the switch off. You can't unsee. And that's the same thing for me. I love my life. I love my business. I love the lifestyle I have built. And I am stepping into the next level. So as I'm doing that, I've sat in that space of like, hey, what decision am I ready to make? And for me, I'm not allowing myself to waver and go back into lack and scarcity, because that was such the dominant vibration in my life for so long. And I make the decision like, no, overflow. I'm making decision of being in the frequency of overflow, being more of her in overflow. And from that decision, it changes my mind right away. It changes my state of being right away. And who you be is what you shall receive. So when you make that decision, you don't waver as much. It doesn't pull you, doesn't overtake your whole entire being when you make a clear decision, right? It's like, I have 2 kids and I say, no screens before bed, no sugar after dinner, or whatever the thing is. And you set these clear boundaries within yourself. Another way to look at it is boundaries, but you set these clear decisions. No, you're not going to have a lollipop before bed. Do that with yourself. What's that thing you're like, no, you're not going to allow yourself to be or do anymore. And it doesn't have to be this big, grandiose decision. It just needs to be a decision. Right? So I'm all about like small, consistent steps, like, and I'm going to go into the next part here, but which talks about steps. It's making these decisions that are so doable, so connected, so from the core, and so shifting and powerful. And you can start doing that, being that now. And from that place, start creating the momentum and start being who you need to be, doing what you need to do. That is actually going to move you forward and create the results that you do want. So number one is making a clear decision between your old self and your new self. You could do that now. You can do that every day. Just tune in right now. Who do you want to be? How do you want to feel? What are you going to stand for? What are you not going to let yourself falter on anymore? And something that is so doable that you're so ready to do. And you're going to notice that shift, that light switch that you can't go back to. So that when you do waver, because as you're practicing becoming your new self, as you're reconfiguring your self-image, your new identity, there's going to be some ping pong effects, but it doesn't have to be so big and so dramatic and so charged, right? When you make these decisions, it's almost like the ping pong effect is lessened and less intense in energy. And you actually, in fact, when you catch yourself, now you start creating a new momentum. Now you start ping ponging the other direction and start building momentum and creating where you want to be. Make sense? Awesome. Okay, so number 2 is once you made that decision of what you're going to stand for, who you're going to be between the old self and new self, as you step into the new self, then it's about nurturing and practicing. Okay, so from that decision, from that point of this is what it's going to be, this is what I'm going to stand for, you need to start nurturing and practicing. And that's all it is. You just have to practice every day, throughout the day, intentionally. When you notice you're not in the state you want to be, who you want to be, make another choice, come back and nurture it, right? You forget to water the plants? Okay, start watering it again. I am like the worst. Like, do not give me plants. They will all die. Do not give me plants. But the analogy is that we forget things and we don't need to be perfect. We just need to be in practice of it, right? So you can start watering the plant again, start nurturing what it is that you want to see grow. So how do I do that is I had a VIP dinner with my coach, Taylor, when I was away in Orlando. And I asked her this. I'm like, okay, I'm doing all the things. Like, how do I know I'm on the right track? Like, is there something else I need to clear out? Because I feel really good. So what do I do versus just staying? Like, it's okay to be in this state of being, always in the state of being. But she said, like, what if you were just your new self 1% more every day? And I was like, I did post something like that previous to that saying, like, if you could just be more of what you want 10% Like if you just show up and do 10% today and then 10% tomorrow, in 10 days you would have showed up 100%, right? So it was just so nice to even just scale it back to like, what if you could show up as your new self, as your nurture your new identity, just 1% more. Just do something that shifts you just 1% forward, or just one thing a day, right? I'm all about simplicity, just as simple as possible. What if you could just do one thing? Right? What if that one thing is like you put on earrings that represents your new self? What if that's like saying no or just canceling an appointment because you're like, no, that just doesn't feel good. That's not in alignment to my new self. What's that one thing you could do? Or how could you be her 1% more than you were yesterday? Which then takes me into number 3 is then you start building momentum, right? So how do you do that? You need to start acknowledging the energetic shifts, because the first evidence of things changing is energetically. It's how you feel. It's not that the money comes or the client comes. That can happen too, and things can happen very quickly when things are in alignment, like your mindset, your energy, your being, everything is just like all connected, all aligned. Yes, the manifestations, the physical manifestations will show up, but if it's not showing up, just know that the emotional, energetic shift is your first point of evidence that things are changing, that you are moving in the right direction. It starts by feeling good, feeling light, feeling like, ooh, things, this is actually my favorite, that things haven't showed up yet, but you feel so good. You trust it. You feel it's possible. You're in that state of being. That's the state. That's the power state, because it's so detached from anything external, from results, from clients, from money, from your husband doing something. It's so detached from anything outside of you when you can be the evidence. When you are in the state, the energetic shift, you are in the state of receiving, the state of being who you truly want to be. Right? So that's how you start creating momentum, is acknowledging the energetic shifts that you are feeling and ride that wave. So from that wave, oh, like I feel light, I feel relaxed. Oh, I actually have nothing on my schedule. What am I going to do now? Well, what would your future self do? What would that new self image do? They would go for a walk. They would put their feet up. They would maybe do some shopping, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be a thing that you have to do, but from that space, that energetic, clear space, that space of alignment, that feeling state, that true vibrational state, that frequency of being who you desire to be, allow that to be enough evidence and ride that wave. You anchor into it somehow. So anchor, practice, and alchemize that feeling into your body. Okay, so this is the bridge between the human and the spiritual world, is action in the body. Right? So I say actually the connection between the ethers and earth is the heart. So the heart, when you think about it, it's the center of the chakras and it's the center of your being. So tune into your heart, anchor into your body. What does it desire to feel? What does it desire to be? What does it desire to do? Choose from that state to start creating momentum, to start practicing, to start nurturing that new self, that the only practice then every day is, let me do that one thing. Let me do that 1%. And in fact, you start making bigger leaps from that place versus from this low vibrational place from your old self, right? So you're climbing the vibrational scale, as Abraham Hicks says, but come from that state of, once you made the decision, once you start nurturing and practicing, nurturing your new self-image, taking that 1% step forward or doing that one thing forward that's in alignment to your new self-image, you start building momentum. And so from that space of momentum, ride that wave, take action from that place, start being from the place, do something that's anchored in your body, that's anchored and comes from your heart, because that's what marries the source energy world, the energetic world, and the human world, the spiritual world and the human world, right? Action bridges it. Your body bridges that. So tune into your body, tune into your heart. What does it need? What does it desire? And you start creating momentum physically, on every level, mentally, emotionally, energetically, and brings it all in alignment. Then you just need to practice. And guess what? The more you do that, even just 1% a day, 10% more than you did yesterday, whatever the special number is that you want, that feels so good, so doable. You create this momentum, and that's who you are. That just becomes who you are. You wake up one day, you're like, I am her. This is your norm. This is natural to you now. There's no effort. There's no doing. So do these 3 steps. And this will allow you to start feeling like her now. Start creating miracles in your life now, because you start being that miracle. You start being that shift, and who you be is what you shall receive. So I hope this is helpful for you. Let me know in the comments how this speaks to you. What is your favorite point? Which is the one that you're excited to do and take into action? I really enjoyed sharing this one with you. And in addition to leaving that comment below, I would love to invite you into Manifest membership. This is my monthly mentorship program where you get that high-level mentorship without the high-level costs, but it's not even about the cost. You get one group coaching call with me where I share and go deep on one aspect of manifestation, whether it's mindset. This month, we're doing the theme around rewiring your self-image. But my gifts is like tuning in and seeing at the core what needs to be shifted, whether it's a family dynamic, your mindset, an emotional healing thing, clearing the heart, bringing your body into alignment. Is it an actionable thing? So I share that with you. I tune in with you on the group call. We do that monthly on the first Wednesday of every month. And then every week I drop manifestation riffs and trainings, which I just dropped one today for our group. And then you also get a Q&A where you can drop a personal question like, hey Minerva, this is what I'm going through right now in my business. This is where I'm at. And again, I can zone in and tune in. This is what you need to work on, whether it's mindset, whether it's action, emotional or energetic. I help you with that. I move you through that. And it's just $111 a month right now. It's going to go up to $222 in the new year. So I would highly recommend that you join. And yeah, let me know if you have any questions. I'll drop the link here. Otherwise, thank you all so much for watching and listening. I'll see you next time.